Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. My name is Bahamut, and we find ourselves here on Infernal Shrines for our first best of 3 of the evening. And if you're sitting at home just now joining us, wondering how we got to Infernal Shrines, I got you covered, friends. The home team this evening is going to be the members of Nexus Cats. We're going to be having... Cael'Thas can't spell. Sorry, I'm just like, my brain for 1 second was like, wait, did I put the right team names? Anyways, Nexus Cats on the left, Cael'Thas can't spell on the right. Coin flip was won by Nexus Cats. They opted for map pick priority for game number 1, banning out Towers of Doom and Cursed Hollow. Dragon Shower and Braxis Hold Up were banned out by the members of Cael'Thas can't spell. And Infernal Shrines will be our first map for our first match, which will be Division D East. Let's get back into our draft and see what we've had so far as for bans. Now, I do want to point this out for anyone that is maybe new or doesn't know for NGS or many of these leagues. May is going to be banned out for the remainder of Season 9 of NGS, so we will not see May in playoffs, any of that. She's out. Mal'Ganis, though, will be banned for only 2 weeks, so we could see Mal'Ganis a couple weeks down towards that playoff region. But it's just something to note if you're sitting at home like, oh, we're going to get some May games. Why isn't anyone banning May? Why isn't anyone picking it? It's because they're banned within the league. Cael'Thas, Kratz, good to see you. Harking, good to see you as well. Thanks for coming by, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful day. You saw Tetra's eyebrows, neither did I. I'm very confused as to what's happening now. I have no idea what's happening in the chat, but either way, good to see all of you. Thanks for coming by. As a Rhaegar, Joanna is banned on the left-hand side. We are going to be having a Tassadar and a Garrosh on the right. Orphe was the first pick on the right-hand side by the members of Cael'Thas Can't Spell, and Sylvanas Imperius for the left. Good siege, good solo lane, good pressure overall.
For everybody.
Thank you, Langaria, for the Twitch Prime for 7 months. Popcorn and coffee for everyone. Thank you very much. And Asmachad, thank you for the follow as we got into this game. Oh, and I got a little emote as well. Thank you so much, Langaria, for giving us some emotes and for the Twitch Prime sub. All right, let's get back into this draft here, because we haven't really talked much about this. Cassia is going to be grabbed, and ETC as well. So a lot of good dive coming in here. They want to step into the enemy team, but the enemy team wants to step into them as well. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of these players bashing each other's faces in, essentially, because Imperius wants to dive into the enemy team. ETC wants to do the same, Cassia does as well. And now Sylvanas and Orphea, they do have some mobility based in their kit. You have the Haunting Wave from Sylvanas for some mobility. You also have the, if you land the skill shot with the Shadow Waltz, you have the little dash that Orphea can have from that. You can also, I don't know if it was actually taken out, if there was the, I think it's Backbiter, where if you use the Chomp, you actually do get the, it auto pushes you back a little bit. Uther will be banned out as they don't want to deal with any sort of Divine Cow, Divine Mosh, any of that shenanigans not going to be happening here in our Division D East. Yes, East matchup. West is later. But it doesn't matter region-wise because we no longer have regions for servers. I can't accidentally put us on West anymore. It's just North America. That's it. It's one big server. Zeratul will be banned out. I actually don't know how they're doing this. If it's still 2 servers and they just use whatever the majority priority is, I don't know. That would be a dev question that I do not know the answer to. Kaleo, how's it going, bud? Good sailing on Sunday, as well as Cat Peach. That was so much fun. I had so much fun with Cat Peach and Kaleo sailing. That was, honest to God, like, I was telling one of my friends, I was like, that game, like, 3 hours went by in that game like nothing. Like, it was done, I was just like, I've had a couple beers, but, like, I had so much fun. I don't know, like, I can sink hours into Sea of Thieves. Decker Kane and Arthas will be grabbed, though, on the left-hand side. So they're now going to start to transition their draft a little bit here into a little bit more control. You're going to have some more CC with the Arthas, same thing with Decker Kane. You have healing reduction if you go into the Emerald. Ruby is just really powerful, as I've argued quite often. They do need something within their rotations for wave clear. Something like a Greymane would be great for them, but we'll get into that in a second as Leoric and Lucio were grabbed on the right. I actually like the Lucio for the Boostio chase. I've been playing a little bit of Lucio. You can really be quite a nuisance on a Lucio, especially with a dive-heavy team like a ETC Cassia and Leoric, excuse me. Leoric is able to step in there as well and kind of be a body in case Orphea maybe gets dove on. But this last pick coming out, as I said, I think they need a little more wave clear, some extra siege wouldn't be bad, and that's why I think Greymane would be great for them. But instead they're going to go for Vala. They're going to get a little more range poke with that. Let me just double check that Greymane wasn't just banned out and I've been harping on it. No, okay. So Vala's not bad though. Burst coming out from her is very powerful. I just like the Greymane just for his overall, the Worgen form, for soloing on camps. He's got a little bit more ability than Vala in my opinion, because if you are in the Worgen form, you've got the Razor Swipe, that's one bit of kind of a dash, if you will, and then you have the disengage or that roll, and that gives you a secondary, so you can really increase that distance. Vala does have Vault. There is that factor as well. So I don't know. I don't play as much Greymane and Vala as a lot of people do, but I just, in which one I would prioritize, I would say Greymane over the two, either way. Method said if they raised 10k that they would Tetcher would shave off their eyebrows. They raised 10k, so at the end of the stream he shaved them off. Youch! I did not see that. Divine Cow, I like it. Yeah, that one's been around for a while. How you doing, Zombie? But good to see all of you in chat. Thanks for coming by. Sea of Thieves is an amazing for... Yeah, exactly. Like, one of my friends yesterday was like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like a fun game. I was like, dude, it's one of those games that, like, if you have, like, a couple good friends to play with, it is such a fun game, and that's exactly what Sunday was. But either way, let's get into game number 1. On the left-hand side, we are going to be having the members of Nexus Cats. We got Mark Zombie on the Cael'Thas. Turd is going to be on that Imperious. McGiblets, I believe, is going to be on the Deckard. The Doctor is going to be on the Sylvanas, and Arth is going to be on that Vala. On the right-hand side, we have the members of Cael'Thas Can't Spell. We have D on the Cassia. Stoic, I believe it is going to be on the ETC. Crushinator is going to be on that Leoric. Asmo Chad is on the Orphea, and Tunes? I think Tunes is going to be on the Lucio, getting that team into mid lane. But we are going to be starting things out with our snow accumulation, our snow event. Everyone's getting a little bit of a shield, stacking up to 224. You either lose that shield based on damage, or you lose that shield based on the event ending. Is Bandit a boy or girl? Bandit's a boy. They might be thinking Vala for another ETC Mosh. That's actually a good point, Zombie. I didn't think about that. But Greymane overall burst out, yeah. I wasn't arguing it from an alt perspective. That's something I wasn't considering. That's a very, very good point, actually, because Reign of Vengeance, you do have that charge. I believe you have 2 stacks of that, if I'm not mistaken. So you're able to then just get 1 charge. If you miss, you can get a second one. You know where I'm coming from. So you got some options with the Vala to be able to interrupt, and hopefully they're back far enough where they're not the one inside the mosh pit. We'll have to see. Even then, I mean, if maybe they can actually queue up a Reign of Vengeance as the ETC power slides and they can stop something. They can stop that from happening, but what they can't stop is Mark Zombie getting caught out right here, and they're going to go down. That's first blood over to the side of Cael'Thas Can't Spell. He's a boy. The best one, actually. He's a very good boy. For our lunch break today, we took a nap together on the couch for like 15 minutes. It was great. He's just a good boy. Just checking on the top lane right now. Looks like Turd is going to do their best to freeze this up a little bit here. Now, tower changes did come through in our most recent patch. So what that means is the Nexus anomalies from last season were... I'm trying to think of the verbiage for this. So the Nexus anomalies last season, you had the armor reduction from the front 2 towers as well as the keeps and the forts. The front 2 towers on the keeps and the forts no longer deal armor reduction, or no longer reduce your armor up to -40. Or no, it's -20 because they changed it, I believe. Anyways, there's no armor reduction coming out from these 2 front towers. The only armor reduction you get is from the forts and the keeps themselves. So pushing in these lanes is going to be a little bit different now, because you can kind of dive under the towers like you used to, because they also prioritize the minion wave rather than the hero that's attacking other heroes. So they kind of reverted the front towers, but I believe the forts and the keeps work in the same way as beforehand, where they have the armor reduction as well as they prioritize heroes when you do try and dive underneath them, which that gives you a little bit more of that League Dota, other MOBA feel, where diving under a big structure is difficult, but these I guess if you say just the tertiary structures that are in front, or the secondary structures, if you will, are just a lot easier. You can push and at least get an advantage in the lane. So I like that balance, and I'm excited to see how it changes some of these competitive games. So we'll be able to see that throughout tonight over our 2 best-of-3 series that we have within the Division D. We got Division D East right now and Division D West coming up a little bit later tonight. That's going to be in about an hour and 50-ish minutes or so, but we'll look at that a little bit later as the camp and bottom lane will be grabbed here. Shrine is activated by Cael'Thas. Frozen Punisher will be the first one. 6 up on both sides. That is going to be a Ruby from McGiblets. They do scout this out. They're going to step in. A lot of damage going out. Asmachad trying to work their way out, but will not be able to do so. They end up going down as the Doctor uses a huge Haunting Wave just to get over by Stoic. They actually grab the camp. McGiblets is able to get it, and they get the pressure into bottom lane, find double kill, put themselves near 7 talent tier, and they'll be able to move towards this objective phase on top of all of that. Very, very well played by the Nexus Cats. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we should be approaching another anomaly soon for our... Or is it will it be 4 minutes or will it be 6 minutes? I wasn't too clear on the verbiage in the patch. Can you turn off weather? No, I checked earlier. There's nothing I like. I don't have a control or anything to my knowledge. As an observer, I can type to everybody, or I can type to just only the observers. I got that power. Gonna make upcoming Heroes Launch season interesting. I agree. I think the anomalies will be interesting. We'll see how they change them and how competitive and also Storm League quick match and all that shapes out. But D taking so much damage will be going down. That's gonna be another kill in favor for the Nexus Cats, as they are looking like they're gonna grab this first objective phase. And they'll be able to open this up further through bottom lane. They did get a little bit of pressure with the Impaler camp initially, and now we're going to be seeing this Punisher coming through, dealing a lot more damage and sieging in. It looks like Imperius is going to be managing the soak for the friendly team, as the rest of them will be continuing to push in. Cassia just now coming back from death. Good route from Decker Kane. Howling Blast also locked them down for a second. A little bit of overlap onto those, but still very well played for them to kind of threaten them. Sylvanas was able to lock down the towers with her Black Arrow, so it really doesn't matter. They also have the Punisher, which also freezes the structure, which then makes it so it can't shoot. So this Punisher diving underneath a tower or a keep, underneath a fort or a keep with this Punisher is, and also this composition is just so very strong, as Imperius will be getting picked off by the Leoric in the upper portion of our screen. I might have just been one of those things where the life leash was just a little too much. Vala went up, maybe because they thought they could find some burst, but that Leoric is still very, very healthy as the Punisher continues to push in through bottom lane. And this is a lot of value for a first Punisher of the game. I'm not gonna lie. Like Paradox and I were talking about this during CCL. Like getting a fort and then moving onto a keep front gate. This is fairly rare for a first Punisher. But the Nexus Cats are looking to really dive in here and step up. That's gonna be a face melt from ETC to force them back. They lock down the tower once again from Sylvanas. And I don't think they get the keep here, but still, they're threatening and they're dealing a decent amount of damage. They'll lock it down for as long as I think Sylvanas has the Black Arrows up and available. Leoric comes in. No 10 talent here on either side, but they are very, very close actually on the side of Nexus Cats. They do grab that right there. Army of the Dead for the Imperius. They're going to turn around and maybe take this fight. They pop the Army of the Dead. Mark Zombie very low. No mana on them. Vala throws out a multi-shot as we cycle through some of the other numbers, get an idea of what those look like. It is going to be... So it was 4 minutes. It was 4 minutes... from, because basically the other anomaly ended at 2 minutes into the game, so we had 4 minutes of nothing. So it, okay. Because the change is big stupid. Have you played a lot of it, Anton? Excuse me. Because that's the big thing that I'm questioning, is like, how much did people play before they actually decided that they didn't like this? Because I feel like that happens with a lot of things in video games. Look at Diablo Immortal. Everyone said it was trash, and the first thing that I asked everyone was, did you play it at BlizzCon? No, I didn't go. So then how can you have an opinion on something you never played? I'm not saying that specifically for you. I'm just saying, I just find that very often in video games that people have established something based on what they've already decided, and they just stick with that gut because the majority or whatever. So I don't know. I'm still out on it. I haven't played enough of it as the mosh pit comes out. They do manage to end that. McGibbles is just trying to get out here. Stay a while unless it goes out, but it doesn't actually proc in time, so it's on a 10-second cooldown. There's a ball lightning out from Cassie as this 10 talent here has turned this around for the members of Cael'Thas Can't Spell, as they find themselves a couple kills, evening it up to 4-4 in kills, 11-11 in levels. Next Punisher will be mid lane. And they back off. I didn't look at the timer. I think the last Punisher went down somewhere in like the 5-minute, 5:30 area, so we shouldn't be too far off from another Punisher. So far it seems like such a minor difference, to be honest. Exactly. I don't know. You're only getting like 200 and something shielding. Doesn't seem like it's a whole lot. It doesn't seem like it's a game-breaking mechanic by any means. The only big game-breaking mechanic that I've read so far is that people have FPS issues with it, which is what I panicked about, but I tested things and it didn't seem like we had those issues. Stay Well and Listen's going to be coming out, catching the foot of a lot. D is getting very low. Stoic as well. They actually do find the ETC kill. There's going to be another chomp out from Orphea. Eternal Feast, Crushing Jaws comes out as Asmachad's trying to find the burst in the combo to get a counter kill, but they're not finding it as Mark Zombie throws a Howling Blast back. I don't think they connected onto anyone. They are Frost Presence at level 1, so maybe they actually did catch someone on that one, but still slow from the Decker Kane with a Ruby as they chase in further, but Asmachad and friends should be able to back out, only losing 2. 13 talent here coming through in favor for the members of Nexus Cats in a second as the camp in mid lane pushes through, but Mortar Punisher up and available in the next 4. Has anyone played Immortal since BlizzCon? I played it at BlizzCon this past year, 2019. I loved it. I had a blast with it. It's for me at least, it's a day one download for my phone. Like if I had a tablet, I would play it on my tablet immediately. It feels good. It was fun. I like dungeon run type stuff, so like it just like everything about it was up my alley. It doesn't give a significant impact. I don't really see how it's necessary. What do I know? And like that's the thing is like that's also a good way to look at it, because I've mostly been seeing people say they don't like it because it's the new thing. And they're just like, oh, it's going to be overpowered, or it's going to let teams win too much. But what if it comes in so undertuned that it really just doesn't do anything, and it's just like, cool, you get a little bit of shieldings and we get some atmospheric snowfall a little bit. That's going to be a stale while listen coming out as they try and throw everything. Rain of Vengeance as well. ETC might have been looking for a mosh pit, but that was denied, or at least they can't find one as there's so much damage stopping them. There's another Rain of Vengeance, Howling Blast. The ETC goes down. There's going to be a lot of rubies on the ground for a lot of good healing. Imperious finds a Celestial Charge under one as the Leoric will go down below us. Asmachan getting very low, going to be the target. Toon's going to be pushing off the wall and speed boosting away as they got out with some 20 health. This next Punisher going over the side of Nexus Cats. Moby back, thank you for the follow. Glad you're enjoying the content you're seeing, my friend. Fog weather? Yeah, fog weather I think would be cool. The snowfall's interesting, but it's only, what? Does it scale in the game? What, the last one was, it should have ended at 8 minutes, so our next one should be 12 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll look. Does it scale is the only question, because I actually didn't look at that. I know it was like 224 or 248 when we started the game. It was one of those two. I'm kind of blanking. Whoever thought, hey, we need more stealth. Stealth is a fun mechanic. But no one gets to play stealth heroes. Not everyone can be a god on Zeratul. I know what you mean, though. I absolutely know what you mean. 15's up. They aren't even talent tiers. I think they're looking to kind of push them back and maybe find a fight. They're going for this keep in bottom lane while the Punisher just kind of free pushes in mid, getting a decent amount of value right there. Do they step in? See, this is a little risky. Everyone's up, but they do have that threat of 16s being there, but that might be what pushes Cael'Thas Can't Spell into forcing the fight. Power Slide, Howling Blast, very well played from Mark Zombie as the Celestial Charge comes through. Break it down from the Lucio, sound barriers. There's an interrupt onto the Stay a While and Listen just as it actually procs as well. That's going to be full cooldown onto that. Root comes out from the Decker Cane, ETC very low. They find the Rain of Vengeance to get a kill right there. Crushinator needs to back off right now as the Crushing Jaws do come out. Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas will be there as well, and they find the Leoric kill chasing in further. Tunes getting low, will be going down to the Sylvanas, consistent damage. DE is trying to work their way out of here as the Rain of Vengeance finds the Orphea. Can they get enough damage? They find the multi-shot and they get that kill as well. No black arrows from Sylvanas to be able to lock down this keep, but there's not too far off of a wave, so they might be able to push into that, and you can already see them cleaning that out so that way they can get that pressed up. Death Hammers are low, but not low enough where they'll be able to deny this keep. And actually, okay, so it doesn't scale throughout the game. It is 224, and I was wrong on the timing. Whoops. Stealth Probius? Exactly. Amanda, how you doing? Is your reference to like Final Fantasy IX, right? Isn't that from Final Fantasy IX? How come the minions don't get shields? That's true. Does it say? But see, it's snow accumulates only on heroes. Apparently, the minions, they're too sweaty, and they don't accumulate snow. Or maybe they're just too small, and the snow doesn't accumulate on them. It would be kind of cool though, like if once you do build some shields, like let's see, I'm just curious. Like if you were to build a little bit of shields, like maybe there was a little bit of like snow on the character model. I don't know if that's too much of a thing for the devs to do to every single character in the game. I don't know. It's just like the description. It just seems like it could have like that little extra finesse, but maybe I'm just being picky on it. Hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, I think we're having a good night of Heroes of Storm. Let's actually cycle through those other numbers so because we haven't looked at those in a little bit, see what the damage, experience, and healing has looked like thus far in Game 1 on our Infernal Shrines. First, best of 3. Just peeking up in the top lane. I'm just kind of skimming around the map to see what these teams are doing for setup. Next Punisher will be in bottom lane. This will be third one of the game, and if they get this on the side of Nexus Cats, they're going to be pushing straight to core. The side of Cael'Thas Can't Spell has hit 16, which is a significant power spike for those heroes. Will it be enough for them to be able to turn around these kills. ETC power slides in. There's going to be a Howling Blast as well as an Entomb blocking some people. Crushinator needs to split off as the Haunting Wave comes in there, but they end up just poking at each other. They back off, and they clear out the top lane as the next Punisher will be up and available now, and as I said beforehand, will be Arcane. McGiblets is going to go ahead and grab them, or at least start this camp over here. Crushinator, they don't have their full team, and they realize this. They need to back off. They're going to get zoned away by a couple abilities, but that's really going to be it for now. Power Slide, Howling Blast catches them. Fighting in this corridor is beneficial for the Cassia, but oh, Leoric is going to get caught out, unfortunately, and they end up going down right there. They can cheat death, so they can respawn a little bit faster, but still, giving over a death right there just as the objective's up is really a hindrance to them as the Howling Blast comes through, forcing the Power Slide from Stoic, and they zone them back out here. They're going to push up the wave a little bit, leaving the Vala to clear out the camp. Sylvanas is going to be coming up here as well. They'll maintain mid lane, but they, I think, are setting up for a defense over this next Punisher, unless, you know what, Leoric is respawning in 10 seconds, roughly. Do they try and go for this again? They're not even halfway through the skeletal defense. I think they go for it, yeah. I like the devs are trying new things, but I'm not completely sold on the random feel. Yeah, okay. Okay. What's the point of Valeera? I mean, it's not like she has other things in her kit that makes her worthwhile. Like, it's not just the stealth that makes Valeera Valeera, it's her entire kit and the fact that she's this assassin, this burst crazy assassin. That's what makes Valeera terrifying to me. Anyways, D is gonna get chased in here, and Celestial Charge will come through as they find a triple kill. ETC did get picked off, Crushinator does split off, but the members of the Nexus Cats have decided, you know what? We like the core. We're going to go smack that for a little bit and see if we can end the game. And with Catapults currently hitting for, what, 266, 247, and a Punisher on core as well, and only Crushinator and Tunes to defend. I don't know how this is going to go as they try and get the Wraith Walk out. Doesn't really happen for them. And this looks like game number 1 will be going over to the side of Nexus Cats. They're going to go up 1 in our best of 3 series, catching Tunes out of these... out of the Hall of Storms with that Celestial Charge, but either way, we'll take game number 1 in our best of 3. Are the weather... Yeah, they're going to be in ranked mode. Are they going to be... They should be displayed? That wouldn't be a bad idea. But she can't use her kit on invisible people. But people can't use their kit on her when she's invisible. Well, sometimes, you know what I mean. All I'm saying is stealth does not make her mitigated. That doesn't mitigate her at all. Because what's going to happen is people are going to get stealth and maybe they'll play like with the bushes and stuff like that, but still people are going to be soaking. Like people are still going to be needing to soak. So I don't think it's going to be one of these things where like stealth happens and like everyone dips out of lane and everyone's hiding in bushes trying to gank each other. I think it's just going to be like, cool, stealth is here. Maybe a roaming Greymane then looks for a kill. Maybe that happens, but like your solo lane, Leoric is probably just gonna be smacking minions still. All right, let's find out what these teams want to do here. I have made the brilliant decision to drink hot tea when it's 80 degrees inside the house. Good choices coming out for me today as an adult. All right, back to Bandit and I. Let's get ourselves set up here for game number 2. We already have the map, so let me go ahead and do that. Scores are all set, and let's just get players in here. That was what I had to do. Sorry, I was like, there's one more thing I have to do, and I couldn't remember it. There we go. Pick and pick. Yeah, pick. Cool. $80 degrees, yeah. And like yelling about hots and under lights. I've made good choices today. Rain seems to be the one that you're thinking has the most effect, Mystic. But instead of silencing and blowing up, but instead of silencing ETC and blowing him up, they can't target him. Meanwhile, ETC can still slide her and kill her. It kind of nerfs Valir against people without. Oh, you realize that I'm not serious right now, Kratz, right? Like, you realize that I'm not serious about that at all, right? Like, you don't need to explain to me that how these things are gonna work. We follow each other here, like. Okay. All of the weather seems to have such a small effect right now. I don't think it will change the meta. I don't think so either. I don't think, honest to God, I don't think much is going to change. Can't a guy argue on the internet? No, we're not here to argue, dude. Like, we don't come, yeah, we just hang out. Just hang out behind the gate during Fog Forehead. There you go, easy. Alright. Let's get going in the game. We're here to have fun, we're not here to argue. We're not here to see whose E-Peen's bigger. We're here to talk about Here's a Storm and joke around. Alright? Alright? This isn't some super serious stream where, like, I know everything. I'm gonna purposely be wrong, because I know I'm wrong. I pushed the wrong button, everybody. Let's see. Serious good caster. All right, let's get into this on the left-hand side. We get the members of Nexus Cats up 1. And our best of 3 series on the right is going to be the members of Cael'Thas Can't Spell, who have decided for first pick here on game number 2. But you are probably sitting at home wondering how we got to Battlefield of Eternity. Home team this evening is the members of Nexus Cats. They won the coin flip initially tonight, and they went for map pick for game number 1, banning out Towers of Doom and Cursed Hollow. Dragonshire and Braxis Holdout were banned out by the members of not too calculated to throw. What am I even thinking of? Not even, I think, the same division. Cael'Thas Can't Spell. They banned out Dragonshire and Braxis Holdout. Infernal Shrines was the first map chosen by Nexus Cats. They won that. Cael'Thas Can't Spell opted for first pick for game 2 as the losing team. So, Nexus Cats have chosen to take us to Battlefield of Eternity. Let's get into our draft right now, as that'll be Garrosh Band on the right-hand side. There you go. Yeah, just keg W's. Like, I'm the person who sits here and argues for Leap all the time on Sonya, and no one says anything to me about that. Come on now. You can't, if you're gonna tell me I'm wrong always. Creeper, how you doing, bud? Debate brings us all better understanding. Yes and no, because also sometimes people use debate to push their own agenda, and also use debate to piss people off purposefully when they know that the point is moot. And like, I've had a lot of debates with friends, and they mostly just use it to disagree with you consistently, so that way they can make you annoyed and angry. So yes, I agree with you, but at the same time, on the internet, sometimes people just say things purposefully so that way that they keep the argument going. Because get this, there's this crazy notion. Some people enjoy arguing. Some people love to argue, and they get a kick out of it. So they'll purposefully piss people off so that way they argue with them. It's this crazy notion, I know. We're here to talk about heroes and meme around. Nice new skin from Imperius as well. Greymane will be picked up on the right-hand side. There is a Joanna Rhaegar band on the left. We have a Garrosh Sylvanas on the right. Imperius Orphea on the left-hand side. So they're going to take that Orphea away. We are going to be seeing a Greymane initially grab, so that will give them some good race potential on the side of Cael'Thas Can't Spell. Do they specifically go into the race potential, or are they going to be leaning more into their team fight? Because last game, the team fight was pretty strong from them. They had, I would say their composition was very more focused on the team fight. They had some good shrine clear, they had good wave clear, but I would say like their team fight was very much like ETC power slides in. You're going to be having Cassia dive in as well. So like those two comboing in together for initial CC and burst damage, and then Orphea is able to get some burst from the backline as well. Seems like actually they're going to now go for this Diablo. They have Cael'Thas for some wave clear, also a little bit of CC so they can set the Greymane up. I actually kind of like this trio together. Personally, I lean a little bit more into Greymane, Li Ming, Diablo because of the fact that Li Ming on this map specifically can really poke, but Cael'Thas does have a lot of good wave clear. He's got good poke as well, but that's more into the enemy team rather than poking onto the Immortal in my opinion. Troll's going to troll, exactly. I'm definitely not here to argue. I don't know about that crap. I'm just kidding. You're fine, bud. We're just here to meme. Yeah, I mean, why don't we argue with you about Azmodan not being a good hero? Okay, Cat Peach. Okay, Cat Peach. How dare. Zeratil's gonna be banned out as well as a Stukov. I'll admit it. Like, I'll be the first one to admit it. Like, Azmodan is not the best hero in the game. Like, he's not. Like, he's got value for some, but he's very much outplayed at the higher skill ranges. I don't know, like, it's just like, it's the, like, there's always an argument for, like, there's a hero that does it better, so why not draft them? Ana and Tassadar will be grabbed here, though. Double mage, essentially, with the Orphea Tassadar. Seems like Nexus Cats, oh, like, their race potential is low, so they're going to be playing more towards the team fight? Yrel for some control in the top lane against the Imperius, as well as the control in the team fight. I wonder if Yrel's going to be more of trying to dive into the backline to displace with the Righteous Hammer, so Diablo, Greymane, or Cael'Thas can capitalize. That looks like the angle for me. And then an Uther will be grabbed here. That's beefy. That's a lot of beef. On the side of Cael'Thas can't spell. As a Probius main, I cannot comment on anyone else's main. See, that's the same thing. Like, as an Azmodan main, I can't comment on anyone else's. Azmodan on Shrines, though, that is true. Like, he's got his place. He's got his place. Also, the name of Hanzo's ult makes perfect sense. Okay, John Mill. All right. Even a bandit got up. He's upset. You've upset my dog. Look at, he's right here. He's upset. He's upset that you brought up the Hanzo thing. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, but it's okay. They didn't mean it. It's okay. What league is this? This is the Nexus Gaming series. Troll's gonna troll. Bahamut makes those heads roll. No, I'll probably just get frustrated and yell about it on the internet or Twitter. I should have swapped it over to Bandit Knife so you can get tail cam. Yeah, bud, I know, it's so hot in here. I know. Yeah, you're a good boy. Fight me! Alright, bud, can you go lay down? Thank you. We gotta cast a game, bud. I need you in your co-casting slot. Alright, let's get into game. On the left-hand side, we've got the members of Nexus Cats up one in our best of 3 series. We've got Arth on the Orphea. Doctor's gonna be on the Tassadar. We've got Turd on that Arthas. Yeah. McGibbles is going to be on the Ana, and Mark Zombie will be on the Imperius. On the right-hand side, we got the members of Cael'Thas Can't Spell, trying to take us to a game number 3. Tunes is going to be on the Uther. Asmochad will be on that, I believe they're on the Cael'Thas. Stoic is going to be on the Diablo. Actually, excuse me, D is on the Cael'Thas. Asmochad's going to be on the Yrel. Some role swaps here. Crushing is going to be on the Greymane. Interesting. Well, we are going to be seeing our fog. I wish I actually showed player vision for this so we could have actually got a better idea what the player vision looks like. But that is going to be Arthas. The Uther, the first one to go down. They're going to find a counter kill onto Imperius. So 1-for-1 trade. I thought I saw another one, but it was just the ghost form of Uther expiring. Let's go ahead and look at those level 1s as well as get some player vision set up so that way when we do see some of these other I was on the wrong player. I was gonna say when we see some of these literal shadow charges where Diablo's coming out from stealth. How does it look for the enemy team? But right now, just gonna be some back and forth. I'm just looking to see how the team fights are going, just like based on vision. Like I don't know, like not a lot of whole people are like Stoic. Yeah, keeps diving into there here and there, but Tassadar has good. Like I don't know, like it doesn't seem like it's like oh my god, it's game breaking. And this is obviously we're a minute and 18 seconds in here, so obviously I can't judge everything off of just that. But I'm just saying, at least for the setup of this game, in Division D East, doesn't seem like it's like, oh, this team is absolutely able to body because like Diablo keeps getting like a charge out from the shadows. Anyways, that is going to be ending right there, as we are going to be back into a normal phase. Or I guess. I was gonna say back into our regulation game, but there's just gonna be the sidewall for this well. I don't know how that's gonna work out for them. They're fighting in this corridor, which is usually where Diablo gets a lot of value, but seems like Tassadar is gonna be turning things around. Unfortunately, Tassadar has like no mana. Orphea's gonna try and dash through all this enemy team, trying to chomp onto them as well. They actually find double kill right there. Overpower into Orphea will be the counter kill. Mark Zombie, do you have enough damage? Healing from the Uther will be enough to keep Stoic up, and they're gonna do a 1-for-2 trade. This is a 3-for-3 when it comes to kills overall. Very well played so far. Bandit, who's talking shit? Exactly. This is HCC 2.0, yeah, exactly. Baja showing tail on stream. Don't tell Twitch, okay? Please don't tell Twitch. It's the Circle of Lulls. I actually thought that was really, it was all of the Lunaras. I thought that was very, very clever from the Nexus cats. Just peeking up in the top lane between this solo lane matchup. We haven't really looked at them up here, so let's at least just kind of see how they're brawling out. Looks like Asmachad is being a little more forceful into Turd Herder, and they can just play this gate pretty slow. They don't need to play this super aggressive right now. I will say this, they do need to manage the Shaman camp as they actually grab their own for bottom lane. Curious to see. So first objective is at 3 minutes. The first thing ended, or the first event ended at like 1 minute 30. So what, we're supposed to be getting the next one at 5 minute 30 if caster math serves me right? I need that, like, that's the one mechanic. I need to learn this mechanic so I can actually figure it out, because I'm sure there's teams that are already actually I know for a fact that there are teams that are already trying to map it out exactly what the timings will be based on what map, because it is pretty much a set thing. They kind of spelled it out in the dev notes. It's just exactly figuring that out. I did not have time to literally sit down and map that all out because I'm a busy boy. Meme game? We're super serious here. We're super serious. That's a great Celestial Charge. They're going to follow up with a Chomp, a little bit of damage as well. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to find a kill. The burst is there, but it's not enough. Gravity Lapse comes through. They're not able to find anything with that one. Looks like Orphea and Tassadar will be going up, and they can see that their immortal health is starting to deplete, so they can step into this. So they need to really find an angle or start to step in. Yrel dives in. There's going to be a Shadow Charge from the Diablo. There was a stun onto a couple members as the Imperius gets a massive Celestial Charge, finding a double kill right there. Another Celestial Charge gets them the third, and they lose nothing. And they're going to be going ahead and taking this first half of the objective phase in their favor easily on the set of Nexus Cats. On a roll right now. Let's go ahead and check on all those other numbers. We do have 7 talent here coming through, but we can look at that as both the teams will have them. Right now, let's look at the damage experience and healing thus far in Game 2 on on Battlefield of Eternity. Now, we're in the second half of this. I just want to look. Bottom lane is that much. So, Immortal, if they win it on the side of Nexus Cats, will be going into top lane. It is the more well-defended lane, has a lot more health on the structures. But this is race potential side, and it seems like they want to go for more defense. They want to actually win the fight before they go for their race on the side of Nexus Cats, and I believe their composition lends more towards that exact play. They don't really have a quicker fight, but they definitely, a quicker race, but they definitely have a better fight, and they're going to take advantage of that, get a kill, and then cycle 1 or 2 back, as you can actually see Orphea and Tassadar going back over here. But with Tassadar's Tickle Beam and Orphea's moderate chomps, they have some race, as I was saying, but like going in against a Greymane, like Greymane, Yrel, Cael'Thas, I think I don't think they win that, but either way. They're going to poke that down. Celestial Charge once again, they're still defending on this, and that will be another fog. So 5 minute 30 is when it did come through. Tunes is going to be taking a bit of damage right there. Not going to be going down. Everyone's still back up. 7's up on both sides. Immortal going into top lane. What do they get with this? Is this going to be the same thing as we saw last game? They don't have a Sylvanas this time, so no locking down the towers, no ability to pseudo indefinitely, not indefinitely push, but just to be able to push more aggressive. Just to note as well, Arthas and Yrel will be down in bottom lane 1v1ing. So right now, objective coming through the top lane. We do have our fog up and available as well. I'm just curious. Sorry, this is a bit of a side note for myself. they merged all the servers, so it still says Central, but like I can only choose North America. So it just, I wonder if we still have Central and West, and it just automatically determines what the majority is and goes to what the vast majority is. That would be my guess. I don't know. Like because now there's no way to either set, like if we still have Central and West servers, there's no way to actually dictate that, which is going to be awkward. We'll have to see. Just still a little bit of play in this top lane as the Immortal did go down. They got the front gate. Sleep Dart coming out. The Cleanse comes out as well from Uther. Seems like there's enough of a gravity lapse. Ooh, Crushinator dives out, but they don't find the counter into this Orphea. They actually might have found a counter into Crushinator, who does roll and has that disengage, and they'll be able to back out of there. Lance, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for the 2 months of support. I'll resend your alert when we get out of game. I very much appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much. Summon Syndragosa? Okay. I was looking, I was like, all right, let's, get a little stretch here. Let's look at our heroics. And yeah, it's going to be Summon Syndragosa for more siege potential from the members of Nexus Cats, as our fog event will be ending right there. Arth in the bush looking to step into them. There's going to be a Shadow Charge from Diablo. Orphea just going to be poking at them as well. Didn't go into the Mind Devourer stacks from the Dread, but still just going to be able to poke with that here and there, get a little bit of a slow onto them. And it also just kind of threats and forces them back. Immortal Phase will be spawning here, going to be in the east and west positions. This will be defensive positioning for both teams. The reason we know this is because as an observer, we always see the Immortal spawning from the blue perspective. So if we were to actually swap it over on the minimap, you'd actually see it swap over on your minimap, the two different options. So blue is going to be defense, and red is going to be attack, at least for the members of Nexus Cats. And so, as we say, defensive positioning, so it's going to be on the safety side for both teams. They're going to have to step in, as this will be camp and top lane being cleared out, but they're trying to push their own in on the side of Cael'Thas can't spell. Nexus Cats trying to do the exact same thing. A little less force, as Urel is going to be managing that. I'm just watching minimap to see what they go for here. Seems like the initial race will be coming out from Nexus Cats. They want to get a little bit of damage into this Immortal, and this is what we were talking about beforehand. When it comes to quote-unquote pure race, like this Tassadar really tickles. Orphea does some decent damage, but ooh, they actually get caught when they're mounting up, overpowered. There's going to be the Apocalypse as well. They lock down the Orphea. They also do finish the Hammer the Lightbringer from the Uther. Pyroblast onto Ana, forcing them back. Archon coming out from the Tassadar, as well as there's just such a split fight happening across our stream. Massive Celestial Charge onto a couple players. Uther did go down, had some Ghost Heals for a little bit right there, but they find a double kill, as they also do get these souls from Diablo, so they're going to be respawned. They find the Greymane, and that's a 1 for 3 in favor for Nexus Cats, as they're looking to go for the first phase of this Immortal. It's just the rude.
I must take up a new position.
But camp and bottom lane will be cleared out. Gets a little bit of value down there. Same thing in top. And now, second phase of the Immortal coming on through, so they're just going to go ahead and burn this one down as well. I don't think that they can, I don't think that, like, even though they do have decent race, they're not going to be able to stop this unless they invade onto them, which is not going to be the case because they're in bottom lane clearing waves. So a fairly full shielded Immortal should be going into bottom lane. As we can see on the minimap, bottom lane has a more well-defended fort. Unless it takes well. No, it doesn't take well into consideration there. That was the only thing I could think of. I was like, wait a minute. Anyways, 13 will be up, though, in favor for Nexus Cats. The B-step? Oh, I didn't even see the B-step. Oh, was there a B-step, Cam? I didn't see that. Ooh, that's against NGS rules. Clip it and send it to NGS. We don't need to get people in trouble. Anyway, I mean, if they honestly, if they didn't really like it, they'll report it. But 13 up on the side of Nexus Cats as they push in with this Immortal phase. As I noted beforehand, they do have Syndragosas. They're going to rotate their Arthas down into this bottom lane. Syndragosa should be coming through as they're just going to line that up. There's the summon from it, and that'll be coming through. They do lock down the keep. They're not going to lock down the tower. They do step in further. I believe it's like a 20-some second lockdown for that Syndragosa as the Divine Shield comes out. A lot of members getting hit with the Apocalypse from Diablo. Crushing Jaws comes out. Will not be able to pull anyone with that one. There's a... I was gonna say, there's a Pyroblast, and I was like, does that get the kill? And I'm like, no. The Sendragosa lockdown value does end right there, as they do find a Howling Blast in there and they step in further, but this is now the towers. They're going to be aggroing onto heroes that are underneath it, reducing their armor to -20 as Turd gets dove on by Greymane. They do get the keep. They're going to lose their Cael'Thas. Righteous Hammer from Asmochat. They're diving very far out here. Should be able to poke at them, and they're going to just disengage as another fog phase will begin. Top lane needs to be managed, but overall, the members of Nexus Cats building momentum here in game number 2 to try and close things out in a 2-0 fashion. Let's go ahead and cycle through those numbers once again when it comes to damage, experience, and healing. We haven't looked at them in a little bit. The one thing to quickly note, Cael'Thas is still working on the Mana Addict at level 1, sitting at 9 regeneration globes, so a little bit hindered on that one, as they're not able to pick those up as well, as much, since they're on this double lane map and they're getting picked off and forced back quite a bit. Well, getting picked off once, but mostly being forced back. Wait, does NGS not allow any B-stepping? I don't know. I think it's in the rules, like, not, I think it's in, like, the like, good sportsman conduct, like, not to, like, B-step people, but I think it's, like, the egregious level of, like, B-stepping, where, like, you're, like, sitting there and you're just, like, you're like, B-stepping from, like, this bush over here across the entire lane or something like that. Like, I think it's the egregious stuff. Like, one B-step, it happens, I think. It's just the stuff when you're just literally, like, just spamming it. Rule breakers? Yeah, exactly, Day. Are you streaming tonight, Day? Didn't I see that you're streaming later? Anyways, Orpheus and friends will be grabbing the camp. Immortal phase is going to be spawning here very, very soon. We do have our 16 talent here in favor of Nexus Cats. How they're going to close this 2-level gap is a big question. They're looking like they're just going to... They're just gonna rotate around and just be turtled up. I just love that there's still a well up here, and Tassadar just throws one shot or one side storm at it and just like walks away. It's just like, all right, we're absolutely saying where we're going right now, but we really don't care. We've got the advantage, we've got kill advantage, and now they're gonna be stepping into the Immortal, which will be spawning in the north-south position. The aggressive side for Nexus Cats will be in this north position for the Immortal phase, as we do have a shadow, you know, not the shadow event, the foggy weather up and available. Do they try and make a play? Unfortunately not, because the foggy weather just ended. So no foggy weather plays are had. They're threatening, but they don't have 16s. This is a weird spot to be in. Howling Blast connects. Shock Ray there. Doctor getting dove on a little bit by Asmochat, but they back off. There's a lot of damage on to Mark Zombie. He does pop the Angelic Garment. There's going to be just so much damage immediately onto them as the Syndragosa comes out as well. There's the Divine Shield out onto the Diablo as they try and chase it onto Mark Zombie, who's just low, but everyone else around them is starting to fall on the opposing side. They do get the Imperious kill, but that will be Diablo going down. No souls to reset, as they're only at 94, and now the Sun from the Immortal will buy them a little bit of time, but they still are a level away from that 16 talent here. Camp pushing in through top lane, Catapults mounting in bottom lane, hitting for 247 currently. Yeah, 247 on those catapults, and they skilled, 266 coming through. So we're basically at the exact same point of last game, where if they grab this Immortal, they're going to be going through top lane, but the last catapults in last game were scaled for about 266, so we're right kind of in that same pocket. Greymane tries to get a little bit of damage onto this Immortal just to get rid of some of its shieldings, but we're mitigating a very small amount, maybe a couple thousand out of that. As we said, though, Immortal will be going to top lane, the more well-defended lane, so they're going to push up bottom lane, look for that 16 talent tier, and defend it with even talent tiers. But if they do go down here, this could be Immortal pushing through a keep and going straight to core. I know Heroes Lounge says no excessive B-stepping or spraying. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know the specific verbiage on it. I'm assuming that's probably the same thing. It's under section "Don't be a ding dong." Diablo finishes out souls, so they do have that if they do die. They'll have that quote-unquote insta-revive, if you will. Howling Blast connects. They're trying to find a Righteous Hammer to push them around. They actually dive onto McGiblets, who's very far out. So much damage as they drop the Nano Boost just as they go down. Arth is going to be trying to find a counter kill. Crush is very low as well. I believe there is an Angelic Garment that just came out from the Imperious. Didn't find a kill, and this is actually looking well. This is actually looking pretty good for the members of Cael'Thas. Can't spell not Howling Blast. There's going to be a Pyro Blast as they Righteous Hammer them back into them. The Immortal, though, is slapping this keep, which the Syndragosa did not hit. Okay, I saw them use Syndragosa in the last fight, but they must have literally got it up just because during the Immortal phase they used the Syndragosa, and I was like, wait, what? But no, it's on a long enough cooldown where that would be exactly the case. So They probably used it just before they went down right there. Yrel gets one more auto, finds the fort right there, and they'll clear out bottom lane. Now, hey, it's Battlefield of Eternity. You did lose both those keeps, but it's a very small map where you can rotate back and defend. So they're just going to try and bolster their lanes right now, get a little bit of camp pressure, maybe push them out a little bit further. They do have this periodic catapult in top lane. It's not a periodic catapult. But they do have a periodic catapult coming in through top lane since they did just get this fort. So at least that will slow down the top lane aggression coming out from Nexus Cats. And they're going to use this camp down here as well to do the exact same thing. But Cael'Thas just kind of rotated through lane or rotated through waves. So they did see this and they know exactly where that Cael'Thas is coming from and going to. And they'll back off though and grab that and just clear that out, as it looks like it's just camp pressure, map pressure, and just getting ready for the next Immortal phase, which could be the final one of the game. Hashtag out of context. Everything out of context in this stream. A certain amount of trolling is strategy as well. Yes, but trolling is not something that's encouraged here. Trying to tilt someone with B-stepping, that's not like what the league is all about. Like, we're here for fun and playing games. Dang, I missed one game and got here. Oh, Miss Winderbird, how you doing, friend? I guess Sindri was just disengaged. Yeah, kind of. I mean, it does have slows on it and such. Good buttons so far. Sore butt you missed. Okay, butt's butt. What's our vision look like? We're just kind of like, I'm just showing one of the team's vision really quickly, just to kind of see how all of that looks as they're approaching in their stealth forms. Doesn't really look like, I mean, Orpheus is working their way in here. Sindragosa coming through. There's no 20 talent here. There's going to be a whole lot of damage. Crushing Jaws comes out as well. There's going to be Toon somehow still alive. Does get the cleanse onto Diablo in time. They find the stun. But Turd gets the last slap, and that's also going to be the Greymane going down. Arthas does get picked off. Gravity laps onto 2. D not able to get a combo, and they end up going down. Asmachad very low finds the Righteous Hammer, and that's going to be a 1 for 3 as Chad backs off. And they just say, you know what, we don't need Immortal. We're going straight to core. Can I B-step my own teammates? Absolutely. Now, there's nothing in the rulebooks about B-stepping your own teammates, but I believe B-stepping the enemy team is against the rules. Like, excessive. Like, I'm sure, like, a B-step's gonna happen here and there, but, like, sitting there and just B-stepping around the core and not ending game, yeah, that's bad. That's just rude. Like, that's not cool. Catapults are just not sure of what to do, so they're gonna hit one of the towers, but they are on core right now. They're backing off. That's gonna be Stoic with the Hellgate forward. They end up going down. They do have souls, so you can see 2 seconds on their death timer. Gonna be back here in a second. Catapults have decided the game should end. The rest of the enemy team is saying, you know what, let's just go get Immortal. As our fog will dissipate in a few seconds, actually. And we'll be back into the regular game, but we do have Immortal phase still up. Just about everyone's here except for Orpheo. Well, what happens with this next Immortal phase? Miss Wind Up Butt. Miss Wind Up Butt. Okay, butt spot. Okay, butt spot. Ooh, Force Wall right there. There's gonna be Divine Shield onto the Uther, who does back off. There's a Pyroblast from Cael'Thas. No 20 talent tier upgrade onto that one. Just gonna be hitting the Imperious. Angelic Armament was out. They're gonna throw... Nope, they're still holding those. I think they actually expired. I don't think they actually got the toss of those out, but that's going to be an Apocalypse from Diablo. Greymane, I think, went for the throat somewhere. I don't think they found a kill. Mark Zombie very, very low, getting chased by the Yrel. Sindragosa coming out as well. I believe that's the upgrade because it did root them for a second or two right there. Yes, that is upgrade on Sindragosa. I'm surprised they actually didn't find a kill right there. That was very, very close in favor for the side of Cael'Thas can't spell. Oh, Asmachad jumps over the wall. Very low here. This is such a tense moment. We also do have Catapulta mounting in bottom lane, so keep that in mind as they do have that pressure mounting. Crushing Jaws comes through. They find the kill onto Diablo. No souls to reset. Greymane goes down as well. The Immortal will not be going over to the side of Cael'Thas can't spell. Catapults. McGibbles is literally just sitting over here because they don't want to lose. It's only like 2,700, and yeah, the Yrel might have been able to finish that out. So they're gonna actually find the damage onto them. They get the kill. They're gonna be working on their own Immortal, clearing out bottom lane on the side of Cael'Thas can't spell. Such a promising Immortal phase. Will not go over to them. It does not look like they're going to turtle up. They're going to wait for this Immortal to come through, and they're going to defend with hopefully all 5. I think they should have enough time. The big question will be Urel. I'll accept my new title as a wind up butt. Yes. Chaz, what's up, bud? How you doing? Is that a compliment or an insult? I mean, if butt spot hits you, it's probably a compliment, right? That's how that works. Just butt spot, please, in chat. Immortal Phase coming in through bottom lane. Urel's still 15 seconds off as they're going to be stepping on in here. The Cinder Ghost is a couple seconds away from not respawning, from being off cooldown. So I expect that as the Immortal gets closer, they'll probably use that Cinder Ghost to either root heroes or just get some initial damage onto the core. Now we're just waiting patiently. Diablo Shadow Charge. There's a Hellgate as well. They actually do get the lockdown onto one. Cinder Ghost comes through as well. Pyroblast goes out. I think that was actually for someone else, but they don't even get hit with it because they died. This Immortal is just slashing through this core, unfortunately, and that is going to be game number 2 over to the Nexus Cats. They take this in a 2-0 fashion. GG. Well played. Oh, it's very warm in here. Once again, Lance, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime.
I will follow you to the end of the world. Subscribe.
Procasting going on here, folks. GG.
Whew. That Immortal did about 10% per hit. Yeah, that's absolutely wild. All right, well, we'll get someone in here in just a second. Let's show you some other stats and stuff, and then we'll get a little interview going here for our first of 2 best of 3s. We're actually going to be joined by Arth at this time. Congratulations on your 2-0 victory. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. We're finished up the season 11-1, going into playoffs. I feel great.
Do you know where that puts you in the standings, or are there still some games that have to be kind of played and figured out and all that kind of stuff?
I believe that guarantees us at least second, and there's some movement that can happen to put us in first.
Oh,
depending on XGG versus Church of Murky.
Now, let's talk about playoffs a little bit here. You looked insanely strong tonight. There was a little bit of they started to bring the pressure onto you in this game number 2 here a couple times where it looked a little shaky and they might have got their foot in the door finally and they could start pushing into you. But what is kind of the most synergistic thing with your team? Because it always seems like the calls are clear. You all know what you're doing. What are your comms like in such a very dominant fashion? Is it wild? Is it just one person pretty much talking? What are those like?
I like to think that we all have a steady stream of jobs on what we're trying to call out. We have Mark Zombie, the macro caller. All of us are trying to individually call out different things moving on in the team fight. We have Gibbs calling out big stuns that are happening. That way we know if they have a big cooldown waiting for us or if we're good to be a little more aggressive. It was a little bit more of an adjustment being like, I think we wait in the bush for stealth now, right?
How do you like playing on the second map with the stealth? Because the snow really gave you like a little bit of shielding, cool, whatever. You had 224 extra health essentially, or you just had mitigation, however you want to look at it. The stealth. At the start of the game, you all were playing, both sides were playing around those bushes in the bottom lane scuffle. Did you feel like that gave you any sort of advantage, disadvantage? Was it a nuisance? Did you enjoy it? Can you talk a little bit about the fog on this map?
Honestly, it's kind of weird. I think both teams are figuring out that mechanic real quick. That was the first time any of us really messed with it. Mm-hmm. So it was at the very beginning, the first team fight. I think we were just seeing what we could do with it, and I'm sure you saw right out the gate that blood was being spilled real fast as both teams were kind of in weird positioning and seeing if we were stealth or not.
As the game progressed, did you have any sort of moments where you were like, okay, the next time stealth comes around, like let's play it around in this fashion? Were you just like, you know what, we're gonna play the map the way we know how to play it. We're gonna push in, we're gonna take this, and it's gonna be ours.
I think if we were to play the map again, we could definitely plan around stealth. This time I was just like, okay, I see stealth is up. Let's go and get that and then make a plan. But for the most part, we were playing around the map how our draft wanted it to.
No, it was really well played back and forth overall. When they started getting a little bit of momentum into you, they got a couple kills. It was in the later half of the game as well, and they almost got the Immortal. How do you bounce back as a team? Because I think there's a lot of teams that could benefit from probably something like that, like, or at least that knowledge. Because it's hard. Like you're up in a best of 3 series. You've got momentum, and now you're starting to lose in this later half of the second game. So you might have to go to a game 3. What are comms like, and how do you kind of keep the balance and the and level heads, I guess you could say?
Yeah, so kind of going in line with the level heads, HOTS is definitely very much a mental game, and a lot of it is just not letting your state of mind be tilted. So whenever those bad fights happen, I think all 5 of us went down in one of those fights.
I think so, yeah. Like there was one where it was like, yeah.
It was just take a moment, everyone breathe in for a second. All the waves are pushed up. We still got plenty of time. We still have plenty of space. Don't give them any more space, and let's get back into this. So we all came out of that locker room ready to fight.
So yeah, you use that moment to kind of just to regroup instead of playing the blame game and yelling at each other. It's just like, all right, some flaws happen, but we're still up. It's like you're just looking at the positives rather than just like, oh, how did this screw us, this way. It's interesting. That's actually a really interesting way to look at things. Someone caught it in the chat, and I wanted to bring this up because why not? Because it's memes. There was like a B step that happened. There was like a rude afterwards, or there was a rude and then there was a B step that happened at some point. Someone called it out, and chat was saying like, are B steps are they like a banned thing in NGS? And I can't remember. Like it's excessive B steps though, right? Like you can still like 1 or 2 here and there.
I have no comment on the B step. I have no idea who did the B step. I don't know if it happened. But I do know it happened.
It happened. I mean, it happened. Like even then, like it's just like your brain just like, cool, I got to kill B. even a competitive game, it happens. But no, thank you for the interview. It was really, really fun to chat about this game, and a really, really fun game itself. Before I let you run out of here, are there any shouts that you'd like to give? The floor is all yours, my friend. And if there's any NGS plugs that you might want to throw in there as well, you are more than welcome to.
Of course. So shout out to my team. Absolutely, it's been a great season. 11-1, feeling good, guys. We're going into the playoffs. We're gonna state our dominance. We're gonna have a good time. I'm very proud of you guys. Shout out to our coach, August. He caught part of that game. He might be a little hungover. I don't know what he's up to nowadays. And the doctor, his significant other, she's with NGS. She was probably in the chat. I think I saw her at one point. She does great YouTube stuff, music covers. So check out her channel. I have no idea what it is. I'm sure someone will say something.
Feel free to throw that in my chat. I won't. I don't mind. Sorry, what were you saying? Sorry, I cut you off.
I don't know the channel link at the top, off the top of my head.
Someone will get it for us, but
yeah, someone listening will.
Mm-hmm. Well, either way, thank you so much for the interview. Thank you so much for the games. Congratulations on your victory, and good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you. Oh, and shout out to you for casting us.
Thank you. You did not have to, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. You have a wonderful night, and congratulations.